After 36 years away from the high-speed action that is Formula 1, the 2021 Dutch Grand Prix showed the return of the circuit to Zandvoort, a fantastic bit of track located in the North Dunes of North Holland's North Sea. Now that's a mouthful to say. Just about half hour west from the Dutch capital of Amsterdam. You joined us here for the Prospects eRacing League. My name is T-Mouse. It's a pleasure to be alongside you tonight, and we are here for the Academy race of round 6 at the aforementioned Circuit Zandvoort. A track here that is well versed in its history, having its first Grand Prix held in 1950, and Jim Clark winning the most of those, being 4. The track length is about 2.6 miles, and most of that is accompanied to the rundown into turn 1. Max Verstappen here winning in 2021, as most of us will remember, bringing home only the 4th home Grand Prix win of the F1 calendar. We got some cars heading out onto track already. Our first will be Bobby Blatter. He is a reserve driver here in the Prospects eRacing League, and it's nice to see him out on track. Just behind him, we've got Splandy, I believe, also a reserve driver, so both drivers are wanting to dip their toe in the water, get out there early, and potentially see what the track conditions are like. We're hoping to have a dry race here. It's going to be 18 minutes of qualifying, followed by an 18-lap sprint race, effectively, for this Academy race. We've got a mix of reserve drivers, and we've got a few Tier 3 drivers in here as well. So it's going to be a really interesting race with a mix of skills, and seeing who's going to come out on top at this wild and curvy track that is Zandvoort. Top speeds here of 192 mile an hour. It's not one of the quickest tracks on the circuit, but it is one of the most enjoyable for fans, especially if you are indeed Dutch, wanting to keep an eye on your home driver Max Verstappen in that beautiful blue and red Red Bull. Splandy is going to be the first driver here to set a lap time, so we're going to hop on board as he comes round this final banking turn, which I believe reaches up to 18 degrees in banking. One of the steepest turns in the F1 circuit. Opens that DRS and comes along the line to start his first flying hot lap. He's on the medium tyre. He's confident that he can get through with a decent grid position on this Academy race. He's behind is Bobby Blatter, who is following him fairly close for a qualifying lap, but we'll wonder if that is going to pay off for Bobby, or Blobby rather, in the later stages of this lap. We'll stay on board with Splandy as he comes along into Sector 2, just coming out of Sector 1 here. Nice and quick through there into 7th gear, and then rapidly down into 6th as he comes around one of the banking turns of this track. Braking heavily again for the right-hander. This is a nice winding circuit. This is where it can all go right for you, or it can all go wrong, as Splandy misses a bit of the apex there and runs a little bit wide and a little bit deep at the same time. Be careful not to touch that inside curb as you come along and open up the DRS for the second DRS straight, or the first DRS straight rather, of this track. He's obviously going purple. We've had no one going along so far. He's got an Aston Martin ahead of him who's going to have to get out of the way. That will be Villeneuve. But Villeneuve's also lining up to start his first hot lap, so he will be wanting to get a shift on. Be careful not to run wide on those turns. It's quite easy to do if you're running a low downforce setup. And you come along, open that rear DRS swing again, and you're going to go across the line for a 1:11.9, a really respectable lap time there for Splandy. Bobby seems to have backed out or invalidated his lap there. No actual embarrassment with that. We've got a Haas coming across the line. That is Naddy. He's on a quick lap. He goes pole with a 1:11.167. Again, good lap, but I feel Splandy on the medium tyre could go quicker if he decides to put those soft boots on. We've got almost every driver out, only 4 according not to come out for this initial hot lap here. We have got another driver. We've got a driver of Kevu. He's going to be in the Ferrari car, but he's had a few technical issues, so his car is going to remain in the garage for the time being. Hopefully going to be making an appearance later for us. Trying to keep up who's on a hot lap. We've got one coming across the line now. That did appear to be Tilmo. He's gone a little bit slow. I wonder if he had a few issues heading through. We've got an AlphaTauri coming around that final banking. See if I can find him. That's Artistic Genius. He's on the medium tyre as well. Running a little bit slow on the lap, but he's got himself up into 5th place. That's good. He's gone about 9 seconds quicker than Tilmo there. We've got a bit of a train going on here. People are letting everyone through. That's quite nice of them. As we hop on board with Splandy, he seems to be sticking with it. He's going for another lap. He wants to improve. He's gone down by about 2/10 of a second, but it's not quick enough for the pole here. We've had HC Baguette. That appears to be a disqualification. Parking in an unsafe location, so not quite sure what's happened with that one. Maybe I'll get some more information on that later. will stick on board with Light Sesso. He's currently the only driver who's out on a lap who has not set a lap time so far. He's going to be wanting to get that Haas car with this Uralkali sponsorship across that finish line as quick as he can. We just had word that we're going to have another driver car. He's just managed to fix himself, so if we can get him in, that would be absolutely fantastic. Another driver car being fixed up by the mechanics who have worked all this evening to be able to get their car up and running for this race. See if we can get him into the session. There we go. Sorry, hop back on board with Sesso. Got a bit of traffic out of the way. He's got a purple sector 1. Sorry for those who are just joining. As he comes, sorry, it's purple sector 2, I should say. He's coming around this final banking. Can he keep it nice, calm and collected? He's run a bit wide and he disqualifies this lap there. That's unfortunate. We'll hop aboard, see what this potentially would have been as he comes across the line. Probably would have been 1:11.3. That would have been second place. Almost definitely, if he managed to keep that within the confines of the track. We'll hop on board with Carnage Achilles. This is also a new name in the Academy race here. Haven't seen him around, but it'd be good to see what sort of lap times he can be setting down. I'm not sure if Tilmo's giving him a tow on purpose, but he might be holding him up a little bit. He's backed off. I wonder if he's still going to be getting quicker. We got a retirement from the session. That's Sesso, who's actually binned it. Up on board with Mason there, as we just see his car in the left-hand barrier there. That is unfortunate for himself. Carnage Achilles gets himself up into P5 with a 1:12.9. He'll be wanting to go faster than that, and I wonder if Tilmo held him up just a little bit on that lap. So it'll be worth keeping an eye on himself to see how he keeps going with that. We've got an artistic GD coming around the front end. Can he improve? Yes, he can, by about 6.5 tenths. That's fantastic for him. Doesn't move him up a position, keeps him last, unfortunately, at the moment. But who knows what could happen in the next remaining 10 minutes. If you're just joining us, this is indeed the Prospects eRacing League. We're here for the Academy race for round 6 with me, T Mouse. It's a pleasure to have alongside you. It'd be great to see you in the chat, see who I've got in the chat, and it'd be great to see who's watching as we watch Monster come across the line with a 1:13.4. He knows he can go quicker than that, and I think he'll be kicking himself a little bit that he didn't. Fair few drivers out on laps. Special mention here for PLR Craigie. He's been doing bits in a few of the tiers at the moment. He'll be wanting to set a good lap time. Probably oust the Natty that is currently on pole here with that 1:11.1. Coming across Carnage, like I said, he's gone a little bit quicker there. I knew he could got a little more pace in him if he'd been held up by Timo. Speaking of Tilmo, he's heading into the pits. He's probably going to put on the soft tyre, I'd have thought by now, but we'll see what happens. On board with Artistic, he's gone a little bit deep into that corner there, but it looks like he's going to keep trying. Yeah, he's definitely backed out of that lap. We've got a Haas coming around the corner. That will be Natty. He's on an outlap. And look at the speed that he's carrying down there. I said 192 is probably the fastest you'll ever go at this track, and he's just got about 194. So he's definitely on a low setup here, trying to get that top speed going, and I wonder if that 192 was probably during a race. You'll be wanting, we've got a yellow flag, sector 3, that looks like a few cars pulling into the pits, and exactly that indeed. Those drivers currently fighting for pole position will be wanting to line up on that left-hand side of the grid. It's 215 metres from pole position down to the first turn, and I'll tell you what, being about 10 or a couple of metres in front of your second place, that's going to be important in that long rundown. Not as important as say in Russia, but definitely an advantage as always. Natty here on his lap. He's got that DRS wing wide open. He looks like he's going to be on a bit of a flying lap here. He's down by about 0.03 of a second. Definitely going to stick on board with him, see what he can pull out. I got some information from Monster. No DRS, ERS 7 lap old tyres as well. So it looks like he could definitely go a little bit quicker than that. Natty's had a bit of a kick out. He's pulled back from that lap. He definitely is frustrated that he can go faster. We've got Mason in the wall. That is unfortunate for himself, as he's binned it. As we can see at the bottom of our screen, just there, mid of sector 2. We've got a Aston Martin out on track. That will be Villeneuve. Wonder if he's just set a lap time or if he's going to go for another one. Looks like he's going to go for another one as we watch him come through sector 1 through this no-name turn, which is probably it's the second banking turn of this track, or actually the first banking turn of this track, but actually only about 4 degrees less than the last turn. when we're speaking of lap times, of course. It's important to bear in mind those who have set the fastest lap at this track in various occasions. As it currently stands, Lewis Hamilton holds the current record here. He achieved that in the 2021 Dutch Grand Prix, and that was a 1:11.097. That was on the current track. If we're talking about the old track, Lando Norris, we all know him. He did a 1:28.204 in the Formula 3 back on the old style track, which was about 100 metres longer. But interesting to know that Lando Norris still holds a lap record here. As we stick on board with Villeneuve, he's going to be diving into the pits, probably not happy with that lap. He's only going to go reset and try again. Who have we got out on track at the moment? We've got Crew Steamers. The mechanics have managed to fix up his car. He's going to go out for a couple of laps here. Definitely an old reliable there in the Alfa Romeo. A little bit like Valtteri Bottas coming in. Definitely was a good team at one point, but seems to have stepped down his game. He's handed up the wheel, metaphorically. But he will definitely be a force to contend with for this Academy race. Keep an eye on him. His teammate Monster also going through the track at the moment, about half a lap behind him. Again, someone you want to be keeping your eye on. Both gone out on fresh tyres. Let's see what Crew can put down as we come through. Just at the end of Sector 2 there, he was purple. Not sure if that's because he hasn't set a lap yet, or if that's because he is indeed flying. Watch him come around the final two turns here. Nice and careful not to cross those white lines, keeping it nice and tight through the turn. Running the number 99, obviously in Giovinazzi's car there. Comes across the line, he's going to do a 1:11.7. respectable lap time there on the medium tyre. Obviously, you probably could go about a second quicker on the softs. So, quite possibly into the 110s for Crew Steamers if he decides to go onto that softer tyre. Keep an eye on Monster now, though. He's coming around that final bend. Does well to keep it just within the white lines there. And just below the white lines at the bottom as well. Nice and tight. He's going to get that DRS wing. Doesn't decide to open the DRS wing. Interesting choice from Monster. Still goes about half a second quicker. I wonder why. I wonder if the Alfa Romeo is having a few problems there with its rear wing, like we saw with Max Verstappen in Spain just a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of Max Verstappen, we'll go through to the Red Bull of PLR Craigie. He's going to be coming along this final section now. Mason in the chat, letting us know that his pedals stopped working. Is that why you ended up in the wall? If so, that is very, very unfortunate. Craigie here also getting that rear wing open just a little bit late, so I wonder if that could hamper a lap time. Definitely not. He's got about 7, nearly 8 tenths quicker. But definitely doing well. Mason informing us that he will be using shifters for acceleration and braking there. I wonder if who is it that drives the adapted F3 car? Billy Wiz, that's it. Billy Wiz, who drives the adapted F3 car after that horrible collision in British Formula 4, I believe it was. So Monster here, he's warming up for a bit of a lap, I believe. He's going to be coming down now. He's gone in. Not happy with that lap. Maybe he just maybe he's done his hot lap and gone back in. Natty has gone faster as well. I did fail to mention that. And he'll be happy with that. So close into the 110s, but not quite possible there. We've got a couple of Tier 2 drivers in there. Got a couple of Tier 2 drivers in. So we've got Natty, who's hosting the lobby for us today, and Crew, who does the evaluations of a lot of the Academy drivers. So that's why we've got both of them in at the moment. Villeneuve on that. Oh, we got a crash. Just managed to catch that. Achilles into the wall. There's a tyre on track. I believe that's from Mason's car earlier. But Carnage, very, very lucky not to lose a tyre himself there. And my gosh, we just caught that as we were scrolling through. We'll go back to Villeneuve being on a lap. He's about a 100th down, or 100th up rather. I always get them confused. On the medium tyre, he's coming around that final banking now. Can he improve in the slightest? He's going to be coming across the line. What's he going to do? It's going to be a 1:12.3. He's gone half a second quicker. Fantastic race by him. Natty's decided he's had enough, so retires in the pit lane. Villeneuve stays in P7, unfortunately. He could definitely go quicker if he's going to head out on the soft tyre, but maybe that's a strategy, starting on the soft tyre. It doesn't look like the Ferrari mechanics fixing Kevu's car at the moment are going to be able to get his car out for qualifying We'll let you know if he manages to make it out for the race, but at this current moment in time, it is looking unlikely. We'll go up to the top of the table now. Looks like Craigie's heading in. Splandy, though, definitely on a hot lap, definitely improving. He's gone about 700ths quicker just through Sector 1. That is a purple Sector 2 as well. So we'll definitely stick on board with Splandy here as he comes through to the final turn. Like I said, got to keep it nice and collated, not go over that white line, but use the track to its full limit. Absolutely perfect there. Round that bend, right at the bottom, and come up across the line. And he's going to do a 1. It doesn't look like he... Oh, he did improve. He's gone only 11 thousandths slower than Natty. That's unfortunate for him. But definitely a very good lap time, to say the least. I believe we've got an Alfa Romeo coming around the final wall. And crew starting a hot lap here. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is a Alfa Romeo that looks like gone round. Potentially Artistic Genius. We'll hop on board with Tilmo or the Mercedes, see if we can just keep an eye on that. That is Artistic Genius in the wall. That's unfortunate for himself. And very, very unfortunate for him. Try and catch. We've got a James retiring from the session as well. I believe that was... Oh no, that's coming out final banking. That is the corner that can be quite tricky. I wonder if he just touched the gravel a little bit there. And got a little bit loosey-goosey on the exits. Or the run, should I say, to the final turn. Crew Steamers coming through. He's on the soft tyre now. He means business. He is wanting that fastest lap. James in the chat just saying goddamn curb, and I think we all know what he means by that. Just touching the curb as we watch top of board with Crew's car. I can almost guarantee it will be this outside curve here, or the inside. I don't quite know, but I think it'll be the outside. He's probably run into that wall on the left hand side. Watching Crew coming around the corner here. He's going to be using all banking. DRS wide open, coming across the line. ERS fully deployed. It's only a 1:11.4. That's only going to be third place. But unless he's got enough ERS to go for another lap, that could be it for Crew. Splandy, on the other hand, coming round. He's got a lot of ERS. He's probably just starting a lap. Left it right to the last minute, and that is some fantastic stuff. Definitely starting a last minute dash here. And by the look of it, this is someone we will be looking at for potential pole. So we will stick on board with Splandy for this final lap, as we have 10 seconds left in the qualifying session. Coming around nice and tight through the bank turn there. Got to keep it nice and clean through this bit of windy section in Sector 1. Nice and beautiful, beautiful camera angle provided by the game there. Actually makes quite a lot of difference from some of the other camera angles. He is up about a 10th down at the moment, so he's going to be wanting to improve. I wonder if it was his second and third sectors that let him down. Let's hope it was. See if we can get that Mercedes on pole, just like it was in a couple of the previous races. The Mercedes looking so strong, especially the W12E performance, as it was known last year. We all knew how strong it was. He's set a purple Sector 2. He's about 800ths down up at the moment. Excuse me. As he comes into Sector 3. Got to be careful on this bank turn that did take out James just a minute ago. Across that bank curve, he's done well. Nice and tight to the inside without touching the grass. And comes back up to get that DRS open. Can we get into the 110s here? We can! It's a 1:10.8 for Splandy. That's a fantastic lap time for the Mercedes team. And that does round up qualifying for your Academy race. So do stay tuned. We've got 18 laps of sprint race action to come in just a few minutes. So there we go, and that is your qualifying lineup for the Academy race here in Zandvoort. A fantastic qualifying session for all to see, and Splandy taking pole position at quite literally the last chance saloon, as it looked like it started to rain as well, so it took a bit of a chance. and managed to get across that line with just enough time going and probably just enough grip on those soft tyres as the rain started to come down. So here we go then. It looks like a beautiful day in the northern kind of cities of Holland for this 18-lap sprint race in the Academy Series. We've got pole position starting on the left-hand side of the track. It's 215 metres running down to the first turn. And the tyre compounds in use today will be the C1, the C2 and the C3 tyre. I believe they are the hardest in the Pirelli range. Now, as we come along, it's going to be... I'll run you through our starting grid in just a second. It'll be allowing our drivers at the moment to have their final talks with their engineers about what setup they're going to go for and the strategy for today's race. Here we go then. We've got the lights going for the formation lap. We've got Splandy leading us away. It'll be Natty in second place. PLR Crew Steamers and Monster take the Alfa Romeos onto the second row of the grid. PLR Craigie and James make up the third row of the grid in 5th and 6th. Carnage Achilles and Villeneuve make up 7th and 8th. Tilmo and Blobby Butler, I'm going to mess up that name so many times, make up 9th and 10th. Mason, 98, the first driver on the free choice of tyre here. And just behind him, Artistic Genius. And finally, Light Sesso and HE Baguette rounding up our grid here for this sprint race in the Academy. If you have missed any of our other races, please do go check out the YouTube channel and please give a like on this video and subscribe if I can convince you to, because why not, it doesn't hurt you, and a like will make a massive impact for us guys as we try and put on some fantastic racing for you. We'll hop on board with Splandy as he decides to lead the drivers round at quite a nice pace. Here we go then, strategies, it looks like it's going to be the one stop, especially for an 18 lap, and between laps 8 and 13 if you're starting on the soft tyre. Speaking of tyres, let's have a look at what everyone's starting on. So, the top 7 all choosing to start on the softer red-walled tyre, with Villeneuve and Tilmo both deciding to start on the yellow-walled medium tyre, and a few other choices further back as well. I know Splandy will be wanting to get a good start off the line. Natty will be racing him hard, especially as he will have the inside line to turn 1. So Splandy will have to get a fantastic start here if he wants to keep that pole position. We'll hop back to the back of the grid, keep an eye on what the drivers will be seeing as they're coming through that final turn here, as they line up on the grid position. This is the last season on this 2021 game. F1 22 comes out on the 1st of July. And that is when Project C Racing League Season 7 will be beginning, probably towards the end of July. Time to be confirmed. If you wanted to come join us, come race, Discord link can be found on Discord or indeed through any of our social media pages. Here we go then. Beautiful shot of the grid, all lined up ready. You can see Natty's car turn to the left, very, very aggressive manner. As we wait for that little bit of a glitch of the scoreboard. Here we go. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And it is lights out and away we go. Natty looks to get a fantastic start off the line. He's going to be wanting to run up the inside. Splandy seems to have him covered as they all go around. Craigie's going to make a move down the inside into turn 1. He's doing well to keep down. He's always made a little bit of contact with Natty, who's done well to defend. We're going to watch him come through the second sector. But Hassan the Ripple still banging tyres as they come through into the no-name bank's left-hand turn. Nice and smooth. Craigie decides to make a move around the outside. James also makes a move around Crew Steamers as Crew Steamers and Monster both seem to fall down in the Alfa Romeo. I wonder if there's a few technical issues with that Alfa Romeo that we mentioned previously. Popping back up front, Splandy seems to have a very, very nice lead. Artistic seems to have dropped off the back a little bit on that medium tyre. Splandy coming through a beautiful bit of the S section here as we watch them all come through. It's absolutely beautiful to watch. Don't want to clip that curb on the inside. You will send your car spinning. That is one of those dangerous, dangerous curves on this game. Craigie here, he's definitely catching on Splandy already. Going to be wanting to make a move and try and take that top spot from the Mercedes as quick as possible. Who would have guessed it? A Red Bull and a Mercedes fighting for the top spot of the Dutch Grand Prix so early on. We got a yellow flag. That is Blobby Butler span round. I told you I'd get that name wrong. And it looks like he's lost his front wing as well. Splandy obviously setting the fastest lap of the race, as that was lap 1 with 17 laps remaining. Red Bull and Nassi behind him in the Haas are going to be wanting to catch up as quick as possible. We're going to go down the field. The two Alfa Romeo seem to have caught back with each other. Carnage and Killy seem to have been a bit of a hopeful move down the inside there, but probably doing the smart thing and backing out. We've got the other Haas of Light Sasso just behind, probably trying to make a look on the inside of Villeneuve, but doesn't seem to be able to make it stick this time. But getting the other Red Bull slacking a little bit further behind. I wonder if that influence from Checo Perez had anything to do with it. But we won't go there just yet. Splandy leading this race quite comfortably with the chain of cars behind him. It's a bit of a DRS trap this racetrack. We got a spin. That's one of the Ferraris round. Who's that? That is indeed Mason 98. He's lost his front wing, using his gear change levers for accelerator brake. Probably wasn't the smartest idea, but it's something you've got to do in times of need. Tell you what, Billy Wiz would be crying in his armchair right now if he could see what had just happened with a shifted accelerator and brake. Heading back up the field, we'll keep an eye on Splandy. Sets the fastest lap of the race again. He's just pulling away. He's getting to second now from Craigie as we get DRS enabled this lap. Thanks to race control for letting us know for that one. But I have a feeling Craigie's going to be just too far away from Splandy to use. So it will be Natty that seems to benefit from the DRS this first lap if he can keep close to the rear diffuser of that Red Bull car. Not much change in the back of the grid. We'll go and have a look, see who's changed up and down. Looks like Sesso currently winning that battle as he moves up 4 positions. No penalties for anyone at the moment. Baguette gets past Tilmo. That's Tilmo having a spin. Looks like a little bit of end plate down. Fortunately, nothing too serious. Mason comes out the pits there, and he's going to be a long way behind. Hoverboard with Nassi as he gets the first DRS zone here. He looks like a bit of a train. James behind him as well. It's not normally long enough to make a move unless you're right on that rear diffuser. Something that new 2021 cars might actually make a little more of an overtaking zone of that section there. But we'll wait and see. We've got Zandvoort coming up later in the calendar, so who knows what will happen. This is where you're going to be wanting to make a move. Looks like Craigie's actually going to be within the DRS zone. Maybe not quite yet. It doesn't look like he was enough. So Natty's going to be on with DRS, gaining very rapidly. He's got the ERS on as well. Backs out just a little bit. Tilmo's DNF'd on the left-hander there. We're going to have a full course safety car. So all the drivers are required to slow down to the set delta and line up behind the safety car. This will be quite interesting for tyre strategy. Do the soft runners go a little bit early and pit onto the mediums? Probably a bit earlier than they should. And what do the medium runners do? Do they pit for a set of softs and then straight onto the mediums again? Or do they try and go hard till the end? This will be where tyre strategy and your engineers back at your bases will come into a little bit of action as they help the drivers decide what will be the best course of action for this race. I can almost guarantee Jeff will be on every single pit radio right now suggesting an alternate strategy that the drivers are most likely going to ignore. Because it's Jeff, and we all know that Jeff this game probably doesn't have the best strategies. Thank you for the 6 of you that are sticking along with me. We are in a safety car period, so we've got a little bit of time to chill and relax and catch up with where everybody is at the moment. No one with penalties at the moment. Currently, Sesso up 5 positions, Baguette up 4 positions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the moment then. I think almost everyone's going to go into the pits. Splandy is indeed pitting, as does almost everyone on the soft tyre. Craigie almost into the wall there. That was interesting. Now Mason making an interesting comment. There we go. So Villeneuve on the medium tyre staying out. There's a bit of a train in the pit lane here. See if anyone on the medium tyre comes in. Baguette does indeed. Comes in for the soft tyre. Wonder if they can make the soft tyre last 13 laps. You won't want to be pitting again all this lap. So Villeneuve is going to be needing to pit again, but we'll have to pit under normal racing conditions. Could that racing call be a bad call there? Artistic Genius. He's also stayed out on the medium tyre, so I wonder if they've got a little plan or hoping for another later safety car to be able to run these medium tyres a little bit longer than the rest of field got to on the soft tyre. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, what you're thinking driver strategies are going to be at this current moment in time. So most likely here we're going to have 2 or 3 laps of this safety car period, and then we'll get racing again probably about lap 7. That's my prediction right now. I think it's unlikely the safety car is going to go in this lap, but you never know. We've had it go in at the very last minute before, but hopefully it'll wait for Mason to catch up, and potentially Blobby as well, who's decided to pit again for a fresh set of the medium tyres. Probably a sensible idea. The entire field on the medium tyre, except for Baguette, who's decided to stay on the soft tyre. Monster and the Alfa Romeo team having to double stack their drivers there. We've got someone diving into the bit. That looks like Villeneuve deciding at the last minute that's probably not the best idea to go in. Also got Crew going in, and we've got Chaos Achilles going in, deciding for the soft tyre. Interesting choice. Wonder if they can make it last 12 laps. This could be really interesting. We've now got a mix of strategies and a mix of tyres. Can they make soft tyres last 12 laps in an 18-lap race? It'll be close, but I reckon they're going to be able to. Hopefully Blobby will be able to catch up fairly quickly, or at least back up a little bit so that the safety car heads in. Everyone else seems to have caught the safety car and be embedded in that beautiful train of cars that honestly looks very nice every single time we see it. Mason's left the session. I believe that might have come down to a connection issue. So we will check up on that. I'm sure he'll be in the comments if that was indeed a connection issue. But we'll hop on board with the race leader. There we go, race control letting us know that safety car is going to be in this lap. And we're going to have 11 laps or 12 laps of racing action. There we go then. Splandy backing that pack up, making a nice grid and boxing them all up tightly. It's going to be the important question of when he goes. There we go, Mason did indeed lag out. That's unfortunate for himself. Hopefully he should be able to get back in before the safety car restart here. Otherwise, his AI car will be a little bit of a sitting duck. Looks like Splandy's not going to go until that last minute. He's still warming them tyres up. Probably caught him a little bit off guard with the safety car coming in. He's really going to go last minute, but he doesn't want to be jumped by Craigie, who probably is going to get a better sum. Oh, saying that, Splandy dropped the hammer and he's gone. He's made about half a second on Craigie already. Natty on the rear of the gearbox of Craigie's makes a look, but he decides not to go for it. Further back down the field, we've got Sesso making a move down the inside of Artistic Genius. He makes it stick down the inside. Fantastic, fantastic move there. I believe Monster also got through. Yeah, Artistic Genius seems to be dropping places left, right and centre. That seems to be unfortunate for him, but gets up a place as well on Artistic. Villeneuve looked for a move down the inside. I wonder if those soft tyres are really coming into their own now, as they're going to be a lot quicker than the yellow walled soft tyre that a lot of the up front runners have currently got on. Craigie looking right down the gearbox of Splandy. Send Mason an invite really quick. We're not going to have too much issue here while I try and commentate while sending an invite to someone. But here we go then, we're hopping back on board with Craigie. He's still only about 6/10 away. It looks like Carnage has got ahead of Villeneuve actually. I wonder if Villeneuve had a little bit of a loosey-goosey moment out of that corner, because it's not like Villeneuve to lose a place like that. Hopping back on board with Craigie coming into the final 2 turns. Beautiful helicopter shot here as we see just how banked that turn is coming round. There's going to be no DRS this lap, remember. We got one more racing lap and then DRS will be activated, I believe. As we come down, we see all the cars coming down that back straight now. A lot of them on lighter fuel. Crew Seamers makes a move up on Artistic. Nice move there, sir. As he's going to be nice and careful. He's got the no helmet glitch, which always makes me chuckle. Drivers are sitting there with their balaclavas on. Craigie, he's sticking within between 5 and 6 tenths of the car in front. Baguette makes a move up on Monster. Monster seems to be going slowly. I wonder if there's a bit of damage on his car. We'll see if we can see it in a minute when the camera angle changes. Doesn't look like any damage at the moment. I wonder if he's still a little bit loosey, or it could be that Baguette and Carnage both on those soft tyres. We got a yellow flag. That's Villeneuve potentially who spun out, and that is indeed Villeneuve that has spun out into. It's quite an unusual corner to lose to that, but I wonder if he just tapped the curb there and went spinning off. Not to worry, he said he's going to get back on with it. But we'll go back on board with the Mercedes and the Red Bull that are still fighting for the lead. I reckon this is going to be the battle for the lead for the entire race. And there we go. We've got one this lap, no DRS, so no DRS down the back straight as it currently stands. But we should see the message from Race Control as that fastest lap message goes away. Should see that Race Control have enabled DRS as Crew Seamers gets the fastest lap of the race at the moment. I wonder if there's going to be some team orders potentially for the Alfa Romeo team when they catch up, but it will be DRS enabled for this lap. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Bit of a battle going on between Artistic, Mason and Blobby there. We've got a full yellow flag as Monster seems to have binned it. I don't quite know what's happened there. He seems to have lost it into the no-named bank turn. Didn't manage to catch what happened there. We'll hopefully stick on board with Villeneuve here and see Monster's car. I wonder if he's just clipped the curb a little bit too much and spun up there. That's quite an unusual place to crash. Seen a couple of people crash there in qualifying, I believe, for in the Americas. I've actually binned it there in qualifying a couple of seasons back. But we're once again under the safety car and back to the reduced delta. Now, the question will be, will those top 5 that are currently on the medium tyre decide to box and risk it for the soft tyre, or will they decide that the rear field are just too close to not get away with a free pit stop at the moment? So Splandy decides that the soft tyre risk is worth it. He's probably going to come out just behind a few others. Baguette also pitting. I wonder if she picked up a little bit of damage there. No front wing, just a new set of softs. Interesting call from the Red Bull driver there, and the Red Bull pit bull potentially making that call for her. Artistic also coming in, as does Mason, for a new set of soft tyres. Doesn't look like either of them are getting a front wing, so no front wing damage, just a new set of tyres. So there we go. Out of 12 drivers on this field, only 4 remain with the medium tyre. That is the top 3. And Blobby Butler, who is sat in 7th place at the moment. I wonder if he will make a decision to pit a little bit later, or potentially regret the decision of not pitting. I guess we will wait and see what happens in due course. We've got 8 or 9 laps left of racing action here in this little sprint race for the Academy. But I tell you what, these will be the most action-packed laps that you will watch in the coming weeks. Academy is always one of the best races to watch, in my personal opinion. There's such a mix of drivers who don't necessarily race against each other, so it's always a really good all-out fought battle. I tell you what, if I'm Natty right now, I'm considering how early I'm going to jump crazy on the safety car restart, which won't be for another lap by the look of it. Natty just warming up the tyres there, not deciding to go into the pits. I wonder if that's going to be a late call in for a pit box there, but it appears not. I don't think he's decided that the softs are worth the risk with all the positions that he would potentially lose at this current stage. If you are just joining us, we've had a few new people come in. This is still the Prospects eRacing League. We're here for round 6 of the Academy, and we're here for an 18-lap sprint race round Zandvoort. Hopefully safety car will be in this lap. As we can see, all the drivers are now caught up all the way down to Mason in the Ferrari there. Caught up to the back of the safety car grid. So hopefully we will get the notification from Race Control that we can once again go racing. It looks like we're going to have a lot, probably about 7 laps of racing. Yeah, 7 laps of racing to go once the safety car decides to go in. Carnage Achilles probably sat in the prime position right now. If he can get a good jump on James and put himself up into third place, that would probably be a good position for him to be in right now. There we go. Race control letting us know the safety car will be in this lap, as I believe all the drivers are now going to be fighting their tyres to try and warm them up. Splandy, who was in the lead of this race, pitted for the brand new soft tyres. He only finds himself in 6th place. And that is a probably fairly good result. He's got to get past Crew, though, who's a really, really good defender on the track. And then we'll come up against his teammate. So we'll see if team orders come in that regard. But we'll see how that goes. Craigie here, we're going to stick on board. When's he going to drop that hammer? How warm are his tyres? How much does he believe in that car? Natty sticking right on his gearbox, knowing when he goes, he's got to stick right on it too. Watching for the end of that wiggling. Craigie's caught Natty out a little bit there. He's managed to get a bit of a jump. He's almost 7/10 away. Coming up to 8/10 away as he gets a good run. Looks like Blobby has got a run on Sesso. He's going to run down to the inside. Can he hold it down the inside? A little bit of bumping of tyres, but nothing more than that. Oh, a little bit of contact, but keeps it nice and clean. Baguette decides probably rightfully to back out, but Crew in the other Alfa Romeo has binned it. As does Villeneuve in the same place that Villeneuve binned it in qualifying just 2 seasons ago. Both drivers there on potentially cold tyres, losing it into the no-named bank turn, and that is unfortunate for both of them. Hopefully just stick on a new set of softs and get back out there. There are still points to be won from this race. Natty keeping an eye on Crew back there. We've had another bit of a debacle between Crew. They're both racing back to the pits at the moment, but it's the Haas driver of AFS Natty coming trying to chase down the rear gearbox of the Red Bull Honda that is PLR Craigie. Craigie looking like he's going to be doing better. Baguette and Blobby going on a bit of a battle. Mason providing a beautiful on board there as Baguette does indeed get past on the 2nd attempt. By the look at it, we've got another yellow flag. That is Red Bull. That's Craigie round in the pit straight. He doesn't look like he's got any damage, but potentially, actually, maybe have a little bit of damage. And he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's unfortunate for him there. So a few changes going on at the moment. Baguette's up to 6th place. We've now got Mercedes 2 and 3 chasing down the Haas of Natty, who's on wearing down medium tyres. So I wonder if team orders are going to come in, as Splandy is definitely on the quicker tyre. Crew Steamers getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Probably a little bit of lack of braking ability with the no front wing there. The other Haas car to note is Light Sesso, also doing well. He's up to 5th place and actually might be on a bit of a run to catch James, who is doing really well to keep that Williams car right on the back of the 2 Mercedes. There we go, there goes the team orders as Splandy goes through past his teammate on the fresher tyres. Has been released to try and chase down the Haas car of AFS Natty. About 1.8 seconds between them. I have a feeling that's going to be caught quite down. DRS enabled as we start lap 14 here. And Natty is going to be wondering if he can keep the Mercedes away for long enough. Excuse me. Splandy coming up here. He's going to be chasing down. He's already made about a 10th up. But I think him and Carnage Achilles are going to have to work together to try and catch this Haas car. Because maybe in 5 laps it might not be enough. Craigie gets another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We've got a car round. That looks like Artistic Genius. He's gone round in No Name as well. No Name catching a lot of drivers out today, especially on the either new or older tyres. There's something to be wary of. Crew gets past Craigie, who's had to pit again. I wonder if there's something wrong with his setup or his choice, or he's gone round again. A bit unfortunate for him. Splandy made that gap down. He's gone down about 4/10 already. We've got a collision between Blobby and Mason, maybe. Just a little bit of an accident there. Nothing too serious. As Crew does in fact lose it. And we've got a 3rd safety car. That's No Name catching someone out again. As he comes up the top and just loses it on the left-hand side. We've got another safety car here at Zandvoort. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be one sprint to the finish. Will Natty decide that he needs to put the soft tyres on now? This will be a really, really interesting call. He's caught the safety car up already. laps and not had a chance to pit. So he's in a bit of an awkward situation here. Doesn't look like he's going to get that gap to be able to put some red rubber on, as he will have both Mercedes behind him. But it will be Natty leading the safety car restart. We'll probably have 1 or 2 laps of racing action here. I'll tell you what, this could be Abu Dhabi all over again with 1 lap of racing, but replace the Red Bull for a Haas car, which I don't think anyone would ever believe me saying. But a Haas car is currently leading the Grand Prix. All drivers bar 3 out on the soft tyre. We've got our leader Blobby in 6th, and we got PLR Craigie in 11th on the medium tyre. Craigie having a bit of an issue now. What if he's serving off his penalties on the safety car? I wonder if that's what he's doing. That could be a really interesting strategy from him, just so he doesn't get to the end of the race and hopefully catch back up with the rest of the field. But here we go, going through sector 3 now. Doesn't look like we're going to have a safety car in this lap, so it will be lap hopefully 16, and then we'll have 2 more laps of racing action to bring you here from the Netherlands. Yeah, Natty still deciding not to pit there. McLaren held up so much. Well, we know how tickets work in this. There was indeed a pre-race briefing that was held at 1:45, and all the usual stuff was discussed in there. Hopefully, as we come through Sector 2, hopefully towards the end of Sector 2, we will get that green flag from Race Control to get this race underway again. As we come through this left-hand turn of Sector 2, this should be about the time where Race Control give us that green light. I wonder if they'll give the lap for Craig to catch up, but probably not. There we go, Race Control. Safety car is in this lap. That means we will finish this race with no DRS in effect. That really, really helps Natty out. He's just got to control his DRS for the next 2 laps and control the 2 Mercedes behind him on fresher, softer tyres. We'll stick on board with Splandy as he comes right onto that rear gearbox of Natty. Natty's going to have to really work hard to try and keep the medium tyres up to temperature as he comes through the final turn. It's when he's going to drop the hammer. That safety car is in, so it could be any time now when he decides he's wanting to drop the hammer. Splandy getting right up to the back of Natty. There we go, Natty makes the drop. He's gained about half a second already. But that soft tyre coming really into effect as Splandy decides to make a charge. Keep an eye on Splandy, doesn't decide to make a move into turn 1. That's very sensible of him. But with Baguette defending, we got someone round. I couldn't tell who that was. But James manages to make up a place on Blobby Butler. Looking on board with the Mercedes here as he's coming along. He's going to be fighting for this position. He knows he can win this. He's got the softer tyre and he's got the younger tyre as well. But there will be no DRS. So Natty can, in theory, save his DRS. We're not going to show how much he's got just for continuity's sake. But he will be trying to defend that ERS. We'll look for those red lights flashing on the back of the car. They'll come more pertinent in the next lap. Got a yellow flag. It looks like Villeneuve's potentially going slowly. He's got no front wing again. So I wonder if he's been involved in another bit of an accident there. But Natty still defending well from the Mercedes. Helicopter shot coming in clutch again as we watch them come into the final 2 turns and start the final lap. Natty was going a little bit slow around the turns just because of them wearing medium tyres. But this is where it's going to be important. Who's got the more ERS? Who wants to burn more ERS? As Natty is trying to defend. He's going to try and send Splandy down the long way. Actually does well to pull in and defend. Does really, really well. Sesso all just clipping the Mercedes of Carnage Achilles there. Carnage getting a little bit blocking the pit lane. He's got to move, otherwise he might get a disqualification for blocking the pit lane. But Natty still on board here. He's going to be doing everything he can. He's got a lot more ERS in the drive behind him. We still won't name numbers. We've got to spin further back. That's artistic genius by the look of it. And it is indeed, I believe, losing out at the no-named left-hander. And his car on the inside there, just touched the gravel. That's unfortunate for himself. As Carnage Achilles also goes into the wall. Just catch that at the end. Not quite sure what happened to him there. But we'll hop back on board with Natty as we come into the final sector here of the final lap of the final sector of the final lap. And this will be where the battle's going to be happening. Can the Haas car just defend from the Mercedes down the back straight? He's got to keep it clean and content as they come around this final bend. Mercedes is going to be giving everything as he comes along the line. He's got no ERS left. Natty's going to take the win. Blandy coming in second. Light Sessa doing a fantastic job to come in third. Baguette in fourth. James in fifth. Craigie lost the line across the line in sixth. Blobby Butler into 7th place. Mason coming on the line with no front wing to take 8th place. And it will be Villeneuve eventually coming across the line, also with no front wing again, to take 9th place. That sums up your Academy race here for the Prospects eRacing League. Thank you once again for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And your race winner, AFS Natty. Well, that concludes today's race. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to commentate on this race as always. And until next time, I've been T-Mouse. Thank you and good night.